the overdeveloped state apparatus, the relatively weak societal forces lead to the relative autonomy of the state in these societies. This has been widely accepted by other neo-Marxist scholars as well. Pranab Bardhan, adding to Alvi's thesis, says that not only the colonial state, but even the pre-colonial state apparatus in India was overdeveloped. Bardhan emphasizes the undisputed centrality of the state in developing societies, where he feels it is more important than in the West. During independence, the Indian state acted neither at the behest of or nor on behalf of the proprietary classes. But over the years, the autonomy of the state has declined due to various constraints, and hence today the autonomy of Indian state is reflected more often in its regulatory role than developmental role. Anupam Sen, another neo-Marxist scholar, argues that the Indian state has been able to play an independent role because of the nature of evolution of its social formation. He says that the post-colonial state in India is still autonomous because of the prevalence of a multiplicity of modes of production. The Indian society is at the same time partly feudal, partly capitalist and partly Asiatic. Hence, one single class can emerge as the dominant class. This ensures the state's autonomy. Archin Vanik goes a step further when he analyzes the relationship between the Indian state vis-a-vis foreign capital and declares that the Indian state is autonomous not only vis-a-vis civil society, but also vis-a-vis foreign capital. He has firm belief in the indigenous economic infrastructure which sustains the pressures from abroad. He is also optimist that ongoing economic liberalization is not going to alter the situation as it is from a relatively strong position than in the past, and in a careful and cautious manner that the Indian economy is approaching it. Although Vanik does not include the Indian middle classes in the ruling class alliance, he recognizes the pivotal role they play in Indian politics and economy. He writes that there is not enough recognition of the fact this demographic uniqueness has played a significant role in enabling Indian economy to pursue an internally oriented path of growth with considerable insulation from the world economy, thus reinforcing the state's autonomy. Let me conclude the session by saying that Marxist ideology has given alternative to capitalism and tends to give power to the proletariat. It seems that Karl Marx is trying to give completely different economical system which rejects capitalism. I talked about the meaning of Marxism and its approach to the nature of Indian states through different views. Western as well as Indian Marxists have given contribution in the study of Indian political system by Marxist perspective. It criticizes the state being the instrument of bourgeois. Marx has emphasized largely on the means of production. According to Marx, the means of production must be owned by the public and not by the private. Talking about the Indian state, India being a mixed economy, it is synthesis of capitalism and socialism. Marxism believes that capitalism is the last stage of exploitation, and once exploitation reaches to its zenith, then capitalistic system will be turned into socialism. while criticizing the nature of state, Marxists also tend to be positive towards changing nature of state. Thank you.